Hey, what's up? I'm Guy, and that's John.
Yes, it is. This is our YouTube channel. I need you to subscribe. I need you to like the video. I need you to leave a comment. I need you to check the podcast below in the description and subscribe to that as well.
Yeah,
Lot to do, but I need to do it all.
Look at the sponsors scrolling at the bottom. American-Giant.com, promo code HAM. Go get yourself some gear. We got it.
Do it now.
MyBookie.ag, promo code HAM1. Okay, Greg Bedard said, covers the Patriots, that Jimmy Garoppolo is their plan A right now. Talk about the Niners, it feels like plan W, but for Belichick, plan A. What do you think? You buy it?
Well, he was once, I think, unfairly, a big part of when the Niners acquired him is like, God, they just got rid of their Steve Young, right?
Their plan B.
They had their Joe Montana, and they had their plan B for Tom Brady.
Away, now he's plan A.
I was once told by someone that played golf with Tom Brady through a secondhand source. The person asked Tom Brady, this was like, 14 or 15, early on, like, what's up with that Jimmy Garoppolo guy? This is, I think, just they had drafted a quarterback high. No one knew about this before he'd ever played. Tom turned around and said, fuck that guy. He's coming for my job. And
I thought you were going to mention the person who we golfed with who played with his dad. But anyway.
Played with Jimmy Garoppolo's dad?
Mm-hmm. No, Tom Brady's dad.
Oh, I think I forgot that story. But I just wonder if Belichick, remember part of the story was when they traded him to the Niners. Belichick, this is when the Patriots were like on their way to a Super Bowl. Tom was still kicking ass. One of those years, Tom won an MVP. Belichick texted Jimmy Garoppolo all 5 of those games. Remember that was the story?
Yep.
Good game, Jimmy. Way to go get him, Jimmy. Good job, Jimmy. Because if you're Belichick, you finally was the highest drafted quarterback. People forget, like, Tom Brady was 199. And then all the other guys were drafted in the 2nd and 3rd and 4th rounds over the years. You can go through the long list of them. Jimmy Garoppolo's the highest drafted quarterback of Bill Belichick's life. If you pull the trigger on that and then you develop him and have moments, he was his guy. That was his Steve Young. Like, it was going to be a transition. And Bill's thinking, maybe he doesn't get hurt for us. He's better with us. We would have had this transition. We wouldn't have got stuck with Stidham and $500,000 Cam. Give our guy back. Now, I do think the Niners would give him back. If you're Belichick, you just got to, maybe you need to help them get another guy. Like, Kyle, who do you want? We'll help you give some ammo for it. Maybe we can do a 3-teamer. We'll be involved. Like, maybe it's one of those where the Patriots get aggressive into helping the Niners do what they need to do. Because I think it's fair to say that it's not fair to say it's true, it's obvious, it's a fact. The Niners are looking, but just because you're looking doesn't mean that you can get what you want, right? They're not in control of all this stuff. They don't draft in the top 10. They don't have unlimited cap space. There aren't unlimited free agents. You got to trade for players. Deshaun might not even get traded.
You're talking about the Niners.
I'm just talking about the Niners. Like, for Jimmy to go, they either need to get a top 4 or 5 quarterback or get Deshaun Watson. Like, those things are not locks.
What you just said is why I also buy this story for the Patriots, because they're similar boat even in terms of they don't have a quarterback. They really need a quarterback, right? They just went through the year with Cam, and they're also kind of out of control here. And when I say out of control, I just mean they are not in control of any of this. And it's just hard to get these guys. Like, we've talked about it all the time. It's hard to get a quarterback. Everybody wants one. There are more bad ones than there are good ones. There are more backups than there are starters. It's hard to get one. So it makes perfect sense that Jimmy Garoppolo would be their plan A. Because let's just talk about what are their other plan options. People don't want to get traded to them. Russell doesn't want to get traded to them, I'm sure. Well, we know what his list is. Just like, as you pointed out on the podcast, Stafford didn't want to. Like, Mariota, does that do anything? Does that really get it done for you? What, you're going to be in some convoluted trade where somehow you end up with Tua? You know an
underrated part about the Patriots season? I just wanted to go to the standings to make sure before I said this out loud, and it was true.
Didn't finish in last place?
Well, yeah. The Jets were in the division, but they did not. Yeah, they finished in 3rd, but they went 7-9.
I know.
They did not just win 4 games.
I know.
They led the league in opt-outs. Their quarterback was awful for the majority of the season. Edelman got hurt. N'Keal Harry might stink, even though I kind of want him in a Jimmy Garoppolo trade. Take a flyer. Also need to get a pick, but they went 7-9. Bill's thinking, I don't need Tom Brady to get back to 13 games. Just give me someone capable. I can get to 10, right? If you tell me Jimmy Garoppolo is their quarterback and fully healthy, same with the Niners, but I think the Niners just want to pivot. With Bill, who's somewhat limited, and this is a guy that he worked with, knows the language, and can just easily transition back, Jimmy Garoppolo is their quarterback next year and plays 16 or 17. Do they go 10-7?
Yeah. They I don't know if they go 10. I don't know
All
if they
those
go
guys,
10.
all the opt-outs are
10
coming
is
back.
the new 9.
Yeah, 10 is the new 9.
No, which would put pressure on the Niners, by the way.
Yes. But I don't know. Part of trading Jimmy is that, like, you can't trust his health. I'm okay with that because we've seen when Jimmy's healthy.
But then we get. I know. But then it's. Did you pick the right guy?
Yeah, that's a part of it. But if they were to trade him because they draft someone pretty high, the pressure on that guy would be immense, whether Jimmy was alive or not, right?
If they
take a guy in the top 12,
right? If you do Darnold to swap out Garoppolo, that one does not make much sense to me. But
cheaper, probably views the same, but you have an unknown. Like, I do know Jimmy can at least hang in a game. Like, Sam might crumble, right? That's risky. At least with a rookie, it's like he might crumble early. We can live with it, right?
Yeah, you go for it.
Just show me some flashes. Took a big swing. But here's the thing with the Niners. If they trade up to get Justin Fields and trade Jimmy Garoppolo to the Patriots, let's just use that hypothetical. What if Justin Fields has an up and down rookie year and they win a playoff game or whatever? Like we do, and we talked about this with Wiseman on the mailbag. Like, part of trading for a rookie, like, everyone has to just be okay with living with some ups and downs of a 22-year-old, right? It's part of the deal. Like, even though that won't be the case when he throws 3 picks and you lose a tough game, but it's just going to come with the territory, right? It would be, even if you're good his rookie year and make the playoffs, there are going to be some moments that are awful. Because Justin Fields have had those moments in college, right? Or Zach Wilson or whoever.
This is why you're paying Kyle Shanahan to, in theory, the quarterback that gets drafted by Kyle Shanahan is lucky. Just like the receiver that got drafted by Kyle Shanahan and not by some other team, or got drafted by Sean Payton, is lucky, right? So
do you think people, though, could handle – because at least once New England gets back Jimmy in this scenario, they're immediately going to feel pretty good about it. And I think a lot of people will start being like, well, you could probably chalk the Patriots back up for a playoff berth, right? They're a wild card team. Can the Niners afford – remember, let's just look at Josh Allen's career. That first year was like, oh, my God, this is tough. Second year, the team was a lot better. They made a wild card, but Josh was up and down. It wasn't until his third year it's like, okay, they nailed it. Do you think just the whole thing with Kyle, the Niners, just they've only made the playoffs once with Kyle, can they go through a couple years of just a learning process?
Depends what a learning process looks like.
Remember, Josh's first year was all over the map.
Does a learning process look like the rest of the team is good enough to get you to the playoffs and you can learn what it's like to play in a wild card game? That can work. Yeah. You weren't great, but hey, you're good enough, and we got playmakers around you,
and the kid's coming on.
Yeah. But, you got to have a healthy team for that to work.
Yeah. And then you also need the quarterback to have moments, right? You can't have a terrible quarterback. He's have to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that's why clearly, I think Jimmy, like, we've seen it. We've seen Kyle, sorry, not Jimmy. We've seen Kyle with Nick Mullins win football games. And we would not want to go back to that.
That slowed down a little this year.
It did. We wouldn't want to go back to that. But we're talking about drafting a player with infinitely more talent, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, this is part of what this is. My belief is that a quarterback playing for Kyle Shanahan has a better chance to succeed than in most other places. So I like Trey Lance as a pick more if the Niners make that pick than if the Lions make that pick, right? I like Justin Fields more if Kyle picks him than if Dan Campbell picks him. That's part of my belief.
Someone in the NBA was texting with about our rant on Wiseman and how it's so unfair, 19-year-old guys getting shit on. I was texting with the assistant, and he's like, the reality is, with the sad part about this whole thing, you know who the outlier is? Rookies in all sports, but he was mainly talking about basketball and football, are the good ones. Like LaMelo Ball, or last year, I don't even know, some sweet rookie like Nick Bosa. Those guys are outliers. Most guys,
Doncic,
takes a couple of years. Yeah. Most guys aren't just like, oh, the Hall of Famer. Like, Devontae Adams was like, is this guy a bust? Into like year 3, and now he's like the best wide receiver in Packer history. Not everyone is just on this fast track of Andrew Luck. And I just think with the way society works right now, with everyone having an opinion, it's hard to just – That's a tough time for young players.
That's why
because it's easy for me and you to poo-poo it. It is more difficult for them to just see people shitting on them,
especially if you're on Twitter. And I'm not being sarcastic when I say that. Like, I would not want my rookie.
The star quarterback's he's gonna be there.
Yeah,
I say Insta too. I mean,
yeah. It's just so in general, I would.
Yeah. More likely than not, the rookie quarterback for the Niners, if they do draft one of these guys, is going to have maybe more downs than ups.
Yeah. Most of them do. Most of them are not. Herbert's not normal, but
Herbert also didn't win any. He just kind of got to play in meaningless games.
Herbert's got to do it again and again and again and again and again. That's the challenge of the NFL or anything really. Life, getting up again tomorrow, duplicating, topping yourself. It's hard.
Yeah, let's both do it tomorrow.